Hey, Webmong World Entertainment, and we literally just did the story that the rumor doing the rounds is that Alien Romulus 2 has been shelved. And now we're being told, no it hasn't. What the hell is going on with this movie? This is becoming quite a mess. So, the report came out from Word of Real that the movie has been shelved. Now, they've more so cited Ridley Scott as the issue. That he blocked them using the character of David, that he pretty much usurped the director that they were going to bring in to make it, all of this stuff. And one of the concerns was that David Johnson, it is David Johnson, isn't it? That's his name. I'm pretty sure it's David Johnson. Yeah, David Johnson and Katie Spaney were now going to be a part of Marvel. That he, of course, was being cast as the new T'Challa in Black Panther 3, and she's rumored to be up for Rogue in X-Men. Well, the head of 20th Century has come out to somewhat try and debunk this, but it's one of those, doesn't quite add up the way he refers to it, because the question, of course, is Alien Romulus 2 shelved? And his response was a simple nope. That makes people go, see, it's still happening, but it's like, not really, because they're saying, was it shelved? And he said nope. Well, is it outright cancelled then? Maybe that's the case. Now, one article breaks down kind of everything, and then there's another article over at AVP which kind of focuses more on the David Johnson and Kaylee Spenny end of things, and kind of ignores the Ridley Scott interference end of things. So I'll show you this. Well, I'll tell you this. So it's saying there's been, this is the first article, there's been some speculation about creative differences, with Scott potentially causing problems in his role as the franchise's guiding hand, which still makes no sense as to why he is that. Evil Dead Burnhelm, or Sebastian Vanik, I think, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, was later said to be in the running to helm the next Alien movie, but those talks didn't pan out. So according to World of Real, the Alien Romulus sequel had been indefinitely shelved and might not ever happen. The site claims that Scott's hands-on involvement has become too much, with Alvarez's intention to bring Michael Fassbender back as David a major sticking point for the Gladiator director. Scott allegedly didn't want to hand a character he created over to another filmmaker, despite Fassbender on board to reprise the role after reading the script. And here is the thing about that. It is known now that, yes, it's 100% true that Fassbender was on board. That they were 100% going to bring back the character of David. So all that is true. That's not the Alien Romulus sequel's only problem, of course. Its two leads, Katie Spaney and David Johnson, have moved on to the MCU, with the former expected to play X-Men's Rogue, which, by the way, again, is a rumour coming from Daniel Richmond, so take that one with a crap ton of salt, and the latter officially leading Ryan Coogler's Black Panther 3 as the new T'Challa. So, then this story came up that still Brian Duffield is working on a new Alien movie, which this report states will somewhat distance itself from Alien Romulus. Now that's interesting, because this next article I'm going to break down talks about this guy, and is he actually working on Alien Romulus 2, or was he brought in to do something else? Originally the word was that he was brought in to do something completely different, but now they're kind of going, well, is he actually just working on Alien Romulus 2? So this part here is the interesting one with AVP Galaxy, where they say, over the weekend, a rumor from Word of Real that Alien Romulus 2 has been shelved has been making the rounds around the Alien fandom. According to the outlet, the sequel to the successful Alien Romulus was facing significant obstacles. Now, they put it in what Word of Real says, which starts off heavily about the whole Ridley Scott thing and ends with kind of and the other actors might be gone. So their whole thing that even AVP Galaxy puts in here is about Ridley Scott, and yet they completely ignore this part for some reason, saying Word of Real's choice to share this rumour now came off the back of the recent news that David Johnson, who portrays Andy in Alien Romulus, has been cast as Prince T'Challa II in Black Panther 3, and rumours of interest in Kaylee Spaney, who portrays Rain in Alien Romulus, for the role of Rogue in Jack Schaefer's upcoming X-Men reboot. The discourse following this news is that the actors would be too busy to appear in another Alien movie. And here's already the massive issue with that argument. Marvel is Disney. Alien is Disney. They can clearly work out time frames. It's the same company. It's not like, well, we're gonna have to recast because they're gonna be a part of the MCU. Oh, wait a minute. We own the MCU. We own the Alien franchise. There's no argument there that they won't have time. They can easily make the time. So the argument about them being the reason that this thing is possibly shelved, I think is garbage. I think it's everything to do with Ridley Scott. However, all that said, Stephen Asbell, the president of production at 20th Century Studios, promptly took to Twitter to shoot down that rumour, and with a single word response to the claim that Romulus 2 was shelved, he simply wrote, "Nope." With the original tweet he was replying to having now been deleted, Brian Duffield, who was recently reported to be writing for an Alien movie for 20th Century Fox, also retweeted Asbell's response. Now, the tweet he responded to was just someone putting up that was called a Hollywood handle, and they just said the Alien Romulus sequel is rumored to have been shelved, and then they put in a link to World of Real's story about it. That's what the tweet was, and Asbell just simply responded, "Nope." Again, question is, well, because shelved means you put it away for now, but you can always take it down. Outright cancelled is what you probably should have asked and see what his response would be. So it's saying, though it's been unknown if Brian was working on additional rewrites of Fede Alvarez's draft of Alien Romulus 2 or writing an entirely new film, given the context here, it's possible that Brian was brought on to work on further developing Andy and Rain's next appearance in the Alien franchise. And it's saying, back in March, it was also rumoured that 20th Century Studios was interested in A Quiet Place Day 1 director Michael Sarnowski to take the director's seat for Alien Romulus 2. According to Jeff Snyder, 20th Century Studios has approached Sebastian Vinnick, or however you pronounce it, the director of Evil Dead Burn, but talks reportedly fell apart. Now, I find it very interesting that AVP Galaxy here isn't bringing up the idea that Ridley Scott seems to be kind of the thing that's in the way of this movie progressing. That you see how they've just kind of scooted around saying, well, Asbell said nope, and the concern is David Johnson and Kaylee Spaney going off to Marvel, even though it's the same company. Nothing they've put in was about Scott blocking the idea of them using David, Scott blocking this guy, Sebastian, whatever his second name is, from directing, all of this stuff. And of course, we know that Scott's interference, and this is also confirmed basically, that Scott's interference over bringing in the character of David and absolutely blocking it, saying you're not using him, is the reason Fede Alvarez walked away. So, and apparently Fede Alvarez has now completely walked away, like he's not even going to be executive producer or anything on this. his name will probably still be in there as an executive producer, should this movie actually happen. But it's the case of he got so pissed off with Ridley Scott being interfering with his work that he just went, you know what, I'm done. And people close to him were saying like he was so pumped and excited to do Alien Romulus 2, that being in this world, that because the first one worked so well for him, because it did, it made money, he was so excited about moving forward with these characters and stuff. And Ridley Scott came in and went, well, not quite, because this is my baby now. So is this movie happening or isn't this movie happening? That is the question, because one article saying it's been shelved, one guy putting out a one-word response of nope, isn't exactly denying that it's been completely scrapped. So we'll just have to wait and see. But judging by a lot of the comments in the last video, none of you people seem to want this movie anyway, because you all thought the first one was garbage. But you're entitled to that opinion. There's a lot of people who really disliked this movie. However, it will be very interesting to see where the hell this goes, if it goes anywhere. So let me know what you think of this mess. Is it or isn't it, is mainly the question now. So, with that, I shall leave it there for this one. Do like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Cheers. I'll catch you in the next one.